Welcome to Darshan America, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Bhutani.
And my name is Shilpa Alimchandani. Of course, we've all been watching the Republicans this week because for the Republican Party, campaign season has officially started with the first debate. One candidate, well, I should say potential candidate, that you did not see at the debate on Monday is Jon Huntsman, the former governor of Utah and former ambassador from the U.S. to China. Now, a lot of people have been floating his name around, and one of the reasons this has become a hot topic is that both Huntsman and Romney are Mormons. And, you know, this minority religion has controversial background in the U.S.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jon Huntsman is going to fight it out in Iowa, whereas Mitt Romney is going to skip Iowa.
That's right. They're talking about these strategies, right? And what I think is interesting is some people wondering, are they going to distance themselves from their religion because some people are uncomfortable with it? And what struck me about this New York Times opinion piece was the data about Republican opinions about Mormons. I did not know that there was this kind of negativity. Apparently, the Pew Research Center found, that the largely secular, business-minded Republicans are quickly disappearing, as we know. But when asked if Mormons are Christians, 45% of white Christian fundamentalists said no. Okay?
But 55% did not know the difference.
Right. And some said, well, if you look at the research on favorable feelings toward a religion or towards a faith, Muslims polled as low as Mormons when people were asked that question. So we're talking about in ranking the favorability of different religions, there are a lot of fundamentalists who have big problems with the Mormon religion. And given what a strong voice those fundamentalists have in the party, it makes you kind of wonder how a very moderate candidate or potential candidate like Huntsman can survive. I mean, he's moderate about climate change, very common sense about things like gay civil unions, about immigration policies. So, I think he seems like an interesting person to run, but I wonder what it's going to be like. He doesn't fit in.
I think the campaign run is going to be another 18 months. And I must say they will change some minds because these are regular people. These are Americans. What difference does it make what religion do they have? It doesn't make any difference because all religions have quirks. Some things people don't understand about Hinduism. Some of us don't understand about Christianity or Judaism or the others. I think people are growing up. I really think it's just like the discriminations are no longer. So this will also go away. It'll take time, and these are the kind of campaigns that bring out the best in people.
Well, no, I beg to differ. What should be and what is are different things. We may say we should not judge based on religion, on race, and all these different things, but of course we do all the time. I mean, how many times did Obama have to proclaim his Christianity throughout his campaign? Because there are people who feel threatened with anything other than that. And now even a Christian faith is sort of being questioned. So it may not be that we want it this way, but it is.
In the meantime, folks, for the sake of equal time, we want to let you know that President Obama was in North Carolina, but not in South Carolina. And the reason he did not go to South Carolina, because he didn't think he would be welcomed over there. The governor has actually called President Obama a totally bad names because she believes, Boeing wanted to open a factory up in South Carolina. And the unions complained to the National Labor Relations Board that Boeing cannot open a factory in South Carolina. They must open in Washington, state of Washington. Well, governor's very angry because jobs for his state. Mm-hmm. And President Obama, he feels that unions should have their say. He's bought and sold with the union. I haven't understood. 12% of that community owns 100% of President Obama.
Oh, I don't think you can go that far with Obama and the unions. I mean, he's making a political decision. He is also campaigning for re-election. So this is the choice he made. If he's not going to feel welcomed, if the governor herself is not going to welcome him, then better to skip it.
Better to skip it, but he won that state in the last general election. Mm-hmm. It'll be hard for him to give because there are only 7 or 8 states. If he loses them, no, he's no more,
Well, I can understand why the governor of South Carolina is so concerned about the potential jobs that they're missing out on. And I found a really interesting piece in Wired magazine about the economic rebuilding in the United States, and the new middle-class jobs are a different sort, right? They're not exactly white-collar jobs. They're not exactly blue-collar jobs. They're somewhere in between, okay?
Khaki color.
Maybe. It's a realm that they call smart jobs. Essentially, these are innovative and high-tech jobs, but they're not in Silicon Valley and they're not in New York. Instead, they're specialized, but you may not need a PhD or maybe even a college degree to do them. So here's some examples. The titles of these kinds of jobs sound like white-collar titles: technician, specialist, analyst. But the underlying industries are often more blue-collar, towards making of physical stuff. So it does involve manufacturing, factories, machines, plastics, chemicals. So again, there's all of this in-between area where there's this intellectual knowledge that's necessary, also some very tactile skills that are necessary for these new kinds of jobs that will be making up the middle-class jobs that are growing.
That's very good to hear. But I want to tell you, the business folks out there, they're a little confused. They believe President Obama means well, but when he makes these rules and regulations and he puts in that union bit up there, it sort of has no effect on the rest of it. They're asking, take a look around the world. The recession went all over the world. People lost jobs everywhere. And he's saying, why don't you look around and see what they're doing best? For instance, folks, everybody knows Bill Marriott. They got hotels all around the world. Bill Marriott, for the first time, had written an opinion page in Fortune magazine, and he's telling President Obama, look, you're going to Latin America and the other places. You're telling them to buy your goods. But there's another industry right there. You can invite these people to come visit America. It takes 24 days from Latin America to get a visa to visit the United States. It takes 48 days from China. God alone knows how much it takes from India and the other places. He says, why not make a flat policy decision that we will allow video conferencing, because, the law is it has to have a personal interview. How many people can you interview?
Right.
I mean, you're going to have an army up there to interview everyone. Video conferencing should be allowed. Some other system should be allowed, but it should never take more than 5 or 10 days to get a visa. And he says, Mr. President,